It's your boy Urikuga here, back at it again with another Marvel Rivals video, and today we're going to be talking about the new Season 1 patch notes. So before these patch notes go live, I'd like to say there's a lot of characters, well, there's specific characters that need to be nerfed, essentially Hawkeye and Hela, so I'm hoping to see some Hawkeye and Hela nerfs. I'm going to try and make this as short as possible, and I'm going to try and get through these notes as fast as possible for you guys so that short, it's sweet, and it's summarized. So let's start off with Captain America. Okay, so we're going to reduce the delay time for the shield restoration. So essentially, your shield's going to be restoring a lot faster. It's going to be up more often. So that's quite a nice one. Reduce Liberty rush cooldown from 12 to 10 seconds. This is essentially the shield bash ability that we do. You dash forward, so I'm not sure why there was a 12-second cooldown on that sort of ability, but 10 seconds, we may be seeing more dashing from Captain America, meaning he can dive more consistently, get more damage, and overall just feel more like an off tank. Increase base health from 650 to 675. Well, that's going to make him more tankier, and same thing again, it's going to synergize with his dashes, his shield bashes, so that's a pretty good buff, I would say. This one here, this is more of like a nerf to keep him in line. They didn't really want to over buff him and break the character, so they gave him a slight buff and nerf here. So essentially, when you would ult, you'd get this all this bonus health. They reduced that from 3,400 to 3,100. And essentially, the health reduction went from 110 to 100, so that's not too bad. Doctor Strange, well, already seeing this is basically going to be a nerf to Gamma. Anything Gamma related is going to get hit pretty hard here. So they're putting damage fall off on his Dark Explosion that he would do. It's quite a good nerf. Same with the Gamma Maelstrom. So I'm really happy they're looking at the Gamma combos here. You know, I wish I would see more Gamma in my ranked games, but I haven't seen a lot of Gamma on my team at least. I've been seeing it more so on the enemy team, and it is quite frustrating to play against. Not a very fun combo either. So these are some good nerfs, and I'm happy with that. Okay, Thor. Well, now Thor's going to be looking good in this patch. So essentially, when Thor would ult, you could stun him out of his ult. You can hit him with a Lunar Snow snowball and freeze him and just cancel the whole ult. So adding that immunity on his ult is huge. That's a big, big buff to my boy Thor. Again, another Gamma nerf to Hulk. When he would give himself that shield, whenever you would attack it, it'd be basically giving him ult charge. So this is a nice nerf to Hulk. I'm happy that they're again hitting Gamma. Venom's a weird one. I mean, I thought Venom was already good and he was really tanky and hard to kill. So this is essentially here when he would pop his ability to give him a shield. Uh, when he would lose a lot of health, you want to pop this kind of when you're low. So this just gives him more health. This just gives him a bit more damage on the ult. So makes it all a bit more burstier and makes it feel more like an ult because currently it's quite lackluster and a lot of people saw this ult and was like, yeah, okay, it's just a Venom ult. So that's interesting. We'll have to see how this goes. Okay, now for our fellow Insta-Locker duelists. We're in the duelist area now. Let's see. So Black Panther nerfs, not really surprised there. Black Panther was a demon of a character to fight. Once he got into those backlines, he would never leave you alone. Essentially, he'd live in your backlines. You'd ask for someone to turn around and peel for you, they would never peel for you. So kind of happy that this is a nerf. This is essentially gonna help the strategists play the game at least a bit more. While Black Panther will still be doing his annoying combos, but you know what? A nerf is a nerf, and we'll take it. So this is a nerf to essentially the self healing that he was getting from his resets. I'm hoping they also address the bug with Black Panther where sometimes you won't get the reset, even though you dashed and you did your full combo, you wouldn't get the reset, and then you'd be left essentially there to die. So that's a good nerf. Black Widow, this one, we'll have to see this in real time because looking at this now, it just seems to be a buff to a little bit of everything. And Black Widow is one of those characters I've never seen this character. I've maybe seen this character like 2 to 3 times max. So we'll have to see what that actually does to Black Widow. Hawkeye, well, this is just decreasing his damage and essentially trying to reduce his ability to snipe you from like miles and miles away and just essentially one shot you. From some of the gameplay I've seen, he's still going to be one-shotting people, but again, it's another thing we'll have to see how that works in the patch. But yeah, that's a good start at least. Hella, they reduce her base health from 275 to 250. Means you can kill her more and things. But if I'm being real with you here, these nerfs are not gonna do much to her. To be honest, she's still gonna be able to do insane damage. She's still gonna be able to burst you. But yeah, we'll have to see again how this works with Hella. Magic, I mean, I'm not sure why we're buffing Magic, but sure, I guess Magic gets a buff when she pops her ult. That's just gonna make her like even more of an obnoxious dive character. Like we were going in the right area by nerfing the dive characters and those very annoying characters, and then we're slapping buffs on Magic. I don't think Magic needed a buff, but I guess this will make her playability go up even more. I guess this is them trying to get her buffed up and ready for the skin that we've seen that's currently been leaked. So I guess they're giving her that slight buff. Like, hey, that's pretty cool, I guess. Moon Knight. Okay. Well, this is going to be a buff to his ult. So essentially now the the little things that drop down from Moon Knight's ult, they call them the Talons, Hand of Khonshu. There's going to be 14 of those dropping down, and the explosion radius is going to be bigger. This is just going to make Moon Knight's ult a bit more effective. Essentially, you ult, you throw your anchor in, you pull them in, and you're going to get 14 of those little bombs dropping down on them and a bigger AoE. So this is a pretty good buff to those fellow Moon Knight players. No more. This one is essentially a buff to you throwing your like turrets that he has. No more's little turrets. They'll make him feel a bit more smoother because when you threw them, they wouldn't really travel too far. So this is a good one. Psylocke, now this is a hard hit to Psylocke's ult for us, like tank mains with our shields and things. This is essentially now gonna make it so that her ult doesn't go through ults, well, through shields essentially. So if you have a shield now, her ult won't kill you. You can mitigate the damage and block it, essentially saving your team and yourself. The Punisher, again, another one we'll have to see. Less spread on his weapons. I think that'll give him more consistency, more damage. This is just for essentially people who want more aim, more precision. It'll make his weapons a bit more up there. So that's a cool one. Scarlet Witch, oh no. Scarlet Witch is one of those noob stompers. She was good for like Spider Man, for those dive characters. I mean, I guess this makes it so that dive is gonna have a harder time, but I don't know. It's one of those. It just puts them more in line, I guess, with the other duelists. So it's an interesting buff. Again, doesn't really sound too crazy right here, but we'll have to see kind of like how that goes. Storm. This was another character that like I just generally didn't see her much, so it's an interesting buff, I guess. They're increasing the projectile speed, which has looked insane in the current gameplay. Increasing bolt rush range. That's gonna look even better and feel more consistent. Ults, this is a big one. I think we're gonna see more Storm. Storm's gonna be a big meta character. I'm happy that this was buffed. Squirrel Girl. Well, this one is simply her ult. Her ult was one of those where you just almost, it was not consistent at all. Once you popped your Squirrel Girl ult, it just bounced around randomly and basically didn't really do much. It's good on certain maps, but the ult just felt very lackluster. So these buffs making the squirrels essentially chase after someone is huge. Reducing the health of them though, that might hit the consistency quite a bit, but we'll have to see. Winter Soldier, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So they're trying to go for this whole thing of like reducing his long range fighting and essentially making his survivability better in medium close range because they want you to use his other kit rather than just hook shoot, bam bam bam, spam ult again, 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 and then kill whole team. So this one is pretty decent also, giving him more base health so he can survive more and just duel more, giving him more restoration on his tainted voltage so he gets more bonus health, and increasing projectile damage, which is going to be interesting to see. That just means you can do your again combos much easier with the ult. Wolverine, oh buddy, oh buddy. Wolverine buffs, very scary. They essentially hit his DR by 10%, so that he's less tankier when he pops that, but they also gave him more health. So he's a bit more of a duelist, I guess you can say, because once Wolverine went in, if he missed his combo, he had to get out or essentially die there. So I'm happy this is a good buff. But yeah, let's move on to the strategists. Wow. Okay, so we're just gonna give a fat buff to Cloak and Dagger here. Wow. Reduce Dagger Storm cooldown from 15 to 12. Essentially, they're gonna allow you to bubble more to protect yourself and heal your teammates. This one is big. The healing dashes increased from 3 to 4. It's 4 dashes is gonna be insane levels of healing. That's gonna be pretty crazy. I think this is gonna be another top tier support that's gonna be even better. Jeff the Landshark. Oh no. Well, this one, I'm not really surprised. They're going to increase his general healing. You know, his little water beam he does and heals his teammates. That's going to heal more. So that's cool to see. And then the hitbox of the ult. I'm hoping this fixes the issue where the ult would get you from miles away. You could not even be in the ult's hitbox and it still takes you away. So that's pretty good, I guess. I'm hoping to see that that actually does something. But yeah. Lunar Snow, oh boy, Lunar Snow. I'm happy. This one's a weird one though. We're gonna have to see if this actually does something because what people on PC were doing was they were binding her ult to the scroll wheel, and once they pressed that scroll wheel and started scrolling, the tick of the ult, the interval of the switching between both was insane. So it was doing more healing and switching between that damage buff and the healing like crazy. So I'm happy that this is getting some sort of fix here. Hopefully this fixes the issue, but we'll have to see. Ooh, Mantis, Mantis, Mantis. So essentially this is a passive that gave her movement speed, allowing her to run around and be very fast. So this is a slight nerf to that movement speed. Rocket Raccoon has more healing. We'll have to see as well again. Will this healing put him more in line with the other supports, or will he still be just a toolbox support? He's essentially an enabler for Punisher and the Winter Soldier. So we'll have to see. Will this put him more in line as a support? We'll have to see. Let's get up to the team up abilities now. Hawkeye and Black Widow. So essentially, no less damage buff for just picking the character. That's good. Less damage. They knocked it down from 20% to 15, a 5% nerf. Vice versa. Same thing with Hela, Thor, and Loki. Less damage for Hela. She doesn't get that silly little 20% damage. This one, wow, they really are trying to get him more in there. They've given him more damage on those turrets, they've given him more slows, and they've given him more damage. That's going to be big. This one, the Rocket Raccoon and the Punisher Winter Soldier combo, we're going to maybe see this one more, where the ammo box is going to be up more often, so they can have that infinite ammo passive up a lot more. I think this is also a very solid buff. I'm happy to see this. Scarlet Witch and Magneto. This is going to be a buff essentially to his projectiles, like his sword that he has. So this is going to make that sword hit like a truck, I guess. We'll have to see as well. I think this already was doing good damage, but giving it that extra buff is just going to make it even more crazier and more insane. Ooh, now this one, now they're going to get spam their charged abilities more. We're going to have to see how this performs because this sounds pretty crazy, but it's again one of those things we're going to have to see more. And I'm hoping that this makes more people play Thor, Storm, and Captain America because, again, this combo was one you didn't really see much. It wasn't very consistent and it needed a buff, so I'm happy to see this. But yeah, that's all the patch notes so far. If you liked the video, drop a like, subscribe, and comment below which were your favorite nerfs and which were your favorite buffs. Thank you for watching this video, and peace.